Good morning to y'all.
And to you, ma'am. You're thinking this can only end bad. You're right. Condemned to death, my brother.
I don't know you.
Quincy Hollis Foster, United States Marshal. I want you to help me find Mr. Tullis. And Gretchen James, Samson Sullivan, and Cyrus Pope.
Salutations.
Sir, help!
They had a daughter. Might still be alive. You agree to help me find him and you walk out of here tonight a free man.
No one is ever permitted to leave.
We call this place Eminence Hill.
Fear not, for you confessed.
I'm calling you a lower scum murderer.
Where is he?
Royce!
My name is Dominique Swain, and I play Gretchen. Gretchen is the single woman in a four-man posse. She is intensely loyal and equally as intensely ruthless. I was a little bit surprised that other people interpreted her as a bad character, because I think that she's just desperate and has, grown up with a sense of survival, and your morality is, reflected in how you were raised, but also in what you need to actually succeed and be alive.
He's off now. Put it away. Put it away!
The director, Robert Conway, initially attracted me to the project because I got the script from a friend in the middle of the night, and I read it in the middle of the night. And then I thought that I was going to leave a nice message in the middle of the night that was like, wow. And it was even later in the night, because I think the version of the script that I first read was 134 pages, so it was a commitment. And then when I called Robert on the phone, he picked up, and so we proceeded to have over an hour-long conversation just about, about the role and about, different ideas that we had and interpretations, and then about, life and art and politics and experiences. And I was just really, really excited to work with someone who was just so creative and would actually give guidance and had thought through the different ways that the characters respond to each other, and was just, very collaborative in terms of having a blueprint that was very precious to him, but also just being able to feel free to explore just different avenues of expression for the characters.
We'll get it in two. Mike's got most of the lines, but he's got a lot of reactions. We'll take it all the way up to when the conflict starts, and then we'll make it work from there.
One thing that was funny was the young lady whose virginity I was selling to, violent Native Americans, is one of my favorite people in the world, Anna Harr. And I actually had played her mom in another film that we had done a year ago. And so, offset, I was just braiding her hair, and, we were making bath bombs and all sorts of stuff. And then on set, I had to pull her around and chafe her poor little wrists and push her on the ground.
Easy now. She ain't worth so much as a corpse.
But just so sweet. And, I think that to have a relationship between people, just between people, that's got some complexity to it. I think that it adds to a relationship that would ordinarily have just been villainous, little princess, And so I thought that was a really interesting little dichotomy. But also on this film, in films, when you're lucky enough to work on location, you really get to know people. So I was staying in a house with all of the other actresses on the film, and we actually got to interact and eat dinner and decide who we were in life before we got to say lines to each other, which is a luxury that most films cannot afford these days.
Hey!
Hey!
Just couldn't let it go, could you? Hey!
I'm getting the bride!
Richard!
That little birdie's not flying from me!
Richard!
I was so delighted with everyone, with Clint James, who plays Royce, who is my lover, and Lewis, my nemesis.
Cyrus, you are one simple son of a bitch!
Keep on pushing me.
Hey!
Stay out there!
Like, we just all got along really well, and they're very, like, they're very smart, they're very savvy, they're very intuitive, and it was so refreshing to have people that you could really bounce things off of and try things differently, and, you know, have ideas and have people not feel like you were stepping on their toes for making suggestions of like, what if we tried this, you know? Because some people are just like, why don't you do what you do and I'll do what I do and you not tell me what to do? And I'm like, why don't we close down all concepts of creativity and just let's just settle on the lowest common denominator before we even film a thing. One of the best things about this film was that I felt very protected. Like, I felt like, you know, if there was something that's going to be unsafe, or if there was something that was, you know, that anybody had any sort of discomfort or objection with, like, you know, there's a sexual scene, and it was like completely closed set. Like, nobody was there and nobody was going to be there. And sometimes they say closed set, but they're like, oh yeah, but you know, we need the sound guy and we need these 20 people who are, you know, vaguely perverse. And you're just like, okay, all right, I'm just gonna, you know, just go inside myself and do my own thing. And it was very protected. And for Western enthusiasts, this movie is just like a no holds barred look at the Wild West. All of the characters have their different motivations, and we do not shy away from, you know, from violence or from sex. And I mean, you know, that's what you're looking for, is a deeper, you know, like a deeper interpretation of this time period, of what people must have been going through when they're just, you know, desperate and hungry and vigilantes. And it's great. I knew that I wanted to be a part of it, and I think that, you know, that other people will too. Anyway, it was an amazing experience. I actually didn't want to leave.